Content warning. The stories and themes shared throughout this podcast may contain themes that can be distressing for you. If needed, please pause and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If needed, please reach out to a mental health professional for support.
Welcome back to another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana, but there is no Alana. I feel like I say that a lot, but this is almost the next best thing because she may not be my sister, but she sort of feels like she's my sister.
Oh.
Suzanna Fisher is not only a very, very talented tattoo artist and a Seattle local, but she's my cousin. And what I love about Suzanna is we did not grow up, not even in the same country, and we have some memories of being together in Winnipeg for family reunions. But when I moved out west, I reached out, and now I'm only a few hour drive away, and I started coming down to Seattle and visiting with Susanna and her parents, and then I started getting my tattoos from Susanna, and she was at my wedding. She's, integrated with my husband. They both are very similar music tastes and get along well, and she's become like not just like I don't even know if it's a second cousin or third cousin, whatever, removed. Our dads are first cousins.
Yeah.
It's
Never
a confusing, but
Yeah,
anyways,
never figured it out. Yeah.
she became just like a close family member, and we have so much in common, and we miss this whole childhood of having this. And so when this book, Skin Deep Stories, was coming to be, I said, Susanna, you need to be in the book. And she said, okay. So I am so excited to talk to you today, Susanna.
Yay. Well, I'm happy to be here and to be your cousin.
It's so funny. I gotta just talk about this. So I've been with Shane for 14 years, and I've known you longer than you've known Shane because I had another boyfriend at one point. And anyways,
Mhm.
I've been getting tattooed by you probably since I started being with Shane. You did a willow tree on my hip, my like
Did I
thigh hip
not tattoo you
area.
before, Shane?
Well, I don't know if you tattooed me before, Shane, because I think the willow
Oh, okay.
tree. Mm, no, no, I don't
Yeah,
think you
because that
did.
was at Damask.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she did the
yeah,
willow
yeah.
tree, and then I
Yeah.
had in grade 10 my first tattoo was the tribal sun on my lower back, but it looked more like a bullseye. So I kind of got over
Mhm.
like the tramp stamp thing, and so she gave me a huge ass feather. I got a beautiful
Mhm.
feather, and she did this most beautiful lion on my arm, my forearm, and then dogwood. And it's really funny because Shane had no tattoos. But every time we were with you, every time, because eventually, like, you opened your own shop, Bellwether, and every time I got tattooed by you, he's like, I don't know if I ever want tattoos, but if I get them, they're from your cousin. And
Oh.
yeah, so he had his heart attack. He had his quadruple bypass surgery. No plans for tattoos. Actually, he tattooed. Oh yeah, not at this point. He had no tattoos. And so when I went and saw him after he got like woken up from his, intubation, I said, "Babe, how you feeling?" And he's like, "I'm gonna get a tattoo." It was like, and he like had this whole vision of
Better
an
than Disneyland.
anatomically correct heart, and he knew it was gonna be from you. And but then the pandemic happened. Anyways, it happened. It happened. And
Yeah, we
so
did it.
we did it. And like he also tattooed his wedding band on, but that was not from you. But it's just so funny because tattoos have been a big part of my life, and you're a tattoo artist. And it's against our religion, like it's against Judaism, but I feel like it's okay because you're my cousin and you're doing them. So like,
Mhm.
like it kind of balances it out. And, you know, um, and so how we're related. So Susanna's grandparents, did you call Irv Zeta?
No, Grandpa.
So her grandpa, Irv,
Hmm.
is brothers to my Baba Leia.
Hmm.
And so our dad's first cousins growing up. And so I don't know, whatever that makes us. But and so growing up, I remember a family reunion in Winnipeg happening and you coming and being so good at art, and Baba Leia hung up your art, and I was just so jealous. So I like painted this picture because we were learning about Picasso, and I did this watercolor painting, and she stuck it on the inside of her like broom closet door, and I was like, okay. But It's so funny. So like Babalea is still alive, and Zeta Jack, my grandfather, is no longer with us. Your
Hmm.
grandparents are no longer with us, and I'm blessed. Babalea is going to be 92. And every time I'm in Winnipeg, I make a point of talking, asking her questions. And every few visits, she talks about how much she misses her best friend Edie.
Oh,
And
it's gonna make me cry. Yeah.
Edie is my auntie Edie. She's my great aunt, and she is Susanna's grandma, Grammy.
Yeah, my Grammy.
And obviously, being in a tattoo book and being a tattoo artist, you have a few tattoos to choose from to feature in this book.
Hmm.
And you chose to feature her signature.
Yeah, which is probably one of my smallest tattoos.
Yeah.
So the size does not equal how important they are.
No, no, definitely not. Let's talk about your relationship with your grandma.
Yeah. Well, I am the youngest of five, but I am my dad's only genetic child. So my Grandma Edith, was I was the first grandkid, like genetic grandkid on that side. So I had, all of the attention for about 10 years till Dylan came around. Um, and when I was probably, I don't know, maybe 8. Like we used to go visit when I was probably around 8. My parents would go to the airport and hand me off to a flight attendant, and they would like make sure I got down to California. And then I spent all summer with her, like solidly 2 months. Um, and that was every year until I was in college or something. Like I would
Wow.
always I would spend all summer with her every single year. And then when I was in college, she started to have, well, before college, she had a lot of health problems and stuff. And when I was in college, I can't remember, maybe like my junior year or something, senior year, she went from being independent to having in-home care. And I went down there for like 3 or 4 months and helped her transition from being independent to having in-home care. So I felt like responsible for her, and yeah, we just had a really awesome friendship. Like
She
we
was
would go,
cool. She was a cool
yes,
lady.
everybody loved her.
Yeah,
Like everybody loved her.
so she's being Babalea's sister-in-law,
Hmm.
also best friends. I think that's awesome.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and I think that a lot of people would probably refer to her as their best friend because she was just enigmatic. She was hysterical, like really quick-witted, really generous and kind. And like I remember when she was like pretty old, she would volunteer calling even older ladies on the phone and speaking Yiddish to them as like just a thing she did to make someone else happy, and
Mhm.
she always like donated money and donated time. And we would go to, she worked at the Nordstrom Forever, and we would go, like we'd get a list of what like Shirley and Thelma and Rose needed with grandma's discount, and then we would go and like make sure we got all these individual purchases, like. And when
Mhm.
we went there, like everybody in the store would like rush over, like all the employees would be like Edith and like come over, and like it was like being with a celebrity, like just everywhere. Like everywhere where she knew somebody, people would go on and on about how much they loved her. So she was my best friend, but I do think she was probably a lot of people's best friend.
Yeah. But I mean, you're her first grandchild and a
Yeah.
granddaughter, and you spent so much time. So not only was she
Yeah.
your best friend, but you were probably hers.
Yeah. Yeah. And we we would talk about everything, and she was really, for being, a generation that much older and having, gone through what she went through as a kid. Her dad died really young, and her mom had like a catering, like would cook, and they didn't have any money, and she would like, I remember her telling me her mom spoke 3 languages but couldn't read,
Mm.
and cooked all the food on for her little business on like a wood stove in the house. And so she would tell me all the stories, and like, and for being that generation and growing up fairly religious,
Hmm.
um she was really open-minded. And when I was always super weird. I was always super weird.
Wait,
And
you're not weird. You're just not
no, I
boring.
was like the weird, like I never made, the whole time I had to go to summer camp. They made me go to summer camp every year. Never made a friend. Like, just was like with my green hair and my art book in the corner, like no friends, right? Um, and she wouldn't be like, oh, well, you shouldn't dress so weird, or you shouldn't be, like who you are. She was just
Hmm.
super supportive. And like when I got interested in tattooing, she didn't quite understand it, but she was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. And she was very supportive, which for a Jewish grandma is not typical, I feel like.
No. I mean,
Uh
yeah, I think like, and you're so
Specifically
talented.
because of tattooing.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so how long ago did your grandma pass away?
She passed away about 10 years ago, almost exactly.
Hmm.
Actually, almost exactly. I want to say 2015, November 2015. So,
Oh,
like, actually, it might be this week,
wow.
something,
Well, what are we gonna do to
or
celebrate
2014.
Auntie Edie? Doing this
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, yeah, she told me to, honor her with the yahrzeit candle.
Hmm.
And I have done that, but I also, like, the point of that is to honor someone's memory, like keeping their memory alive, but like it's always alive. Like my tattoo's like a forever
Hmm.
yard site,
Yeah.
Um, so that, yeah, I think about her all the time, and it's been a decade.
You do, and you have parts of her like artifacts. Like you have stuff from her all over your house.
Oh yeah, yeah. Little tchotchkes and jewelry and art, and you know, um, as she got older, she would like shove stuff on me to like take home. Like, oh, you need to take this. She was like clearing out the house. Like, this all needs to go home with you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
so I have like a lot of little old lady stuff. Um, and then some stuff that is my aesthetic that I hang up, that, you know, I agree. That's a fun thing to have hanging in my house. And then
Yeah.
a lot of jewelry, which I wear not infrequently because she had excellent taste.
Yeah, she did. I love that. And it's fun because like, you know, being married to Shane, who's like very much like he likes the one picture on the wall and like tries to go for a clean aesthetic. My office is where I go rogue, and it's like I have teacups and this and that, and it's all the things I'm collecting from life and those who are no longer with us. And I love having it up because it makes me think of those people and the memories. And because
Absolutely.
yeah, and you spent so much time. You spent summers every summer. Do you
Yeah.
have a specific memory that stands out, or one of your favorite memories you can share with us about you and your grandma?
Um, a specific memory.
Like maybe there's one time she took you to Disney, or I just say that because I stayed
Yeah,
with her once and went to Disney.
we would go to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
Like, she was big into movies, and we would go to the movies all the time. and like probably like weekly in the summer. And when you do that, you kind of run out of movies, and especially movies that like a young teen and an old lady are both interested in, And I remember there was a movie I insisted we go see. It was called Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was like, I can't even remember. It was like Joe Pesci or something, and some like mob movie or something like that, some heist thing. And she hated it. And for the rest of my life, she would be like, "What are we gonna go see a head movie in a bag, heads in a bag movie?" Like forever. Like she never like,
no,
and it
she
was
never let it go.
No, but like but she was a good sport. We went and saw the movie,
Yeah.
And I would, go see interesting things with her. Like one time, we would go hang out with all her other little old lady friends, and they go see like matinee theater performances in like downtown LA. I remember one time it was me and like the crew. So Grammy, Rose, Shirley, Thelma, like all these old ladies, some of which Grammy knew like in Canada. And we went to go see Cabaret at a matinee, at noon. And the last scene of Cabaret, there is full frontal male nudity. And this is like widely known, like it's a very famous play, and I just remember like that happening, and Shirley being like, "Oh," and grandma like kind of like laughing and like elbowing me, and I can't remember, I'm sure she said some sort of like offhanded remark about naked male parts, but she was just funny and a good sport and always like down with a joke. Yeah, it was, we had fun. Like even when it was something that maybe I wouldn't have been having fun seeing a matinee play with, a room full of 70-year-olds, like it was still funny. So
And like how fun for you to have these memories, right? Like remember your grandma took you to see full frontal nudity?
yeah, like with her little old lady friends. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how in my life this will transpire, but like I look for like I'm now the because I'm not having children, I'm not sure if my sister will. So I'm the aunt to a lot of my friends' kids, and I want to be that really cuckoo cool safe place where I'm like, let's go do this. Let's go to this movie. Let's go get like yeah, I'll take you to get your ears pierced and maybe a tattoo and
Totally.
like I want to be that old person. Like I want to be Edie. I want to be that one that like all the kids want to hang out with and it's like, let's hang out and then give you back.
Yeah. And I also am not a child having person. My partner has a child who I love. But she has two devoted parents that spend a lot of time with her. But like I have nieces and nephews, and then my friends have kids, and it is like my pride and joy to be like the cool auntie and buy the weird stuff for them for
Yeah.
presents that nobody else wants to buy them, and introduce them to silly stuff.
Well,
And
I think you need to
I
wait
love
maybe a
that.
couple more decades and take them to cabaret and a matinee.
I think so. Well, yes, some of them are getting close in age, but yes, for the wee ones, another 15 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I have a little kid friend who's 5 and really likes spooky stuff, and I love spooky stuff. So I'm always finding her like little kid vampire books, and because it's like, ooh, yes, I love the occult. What's appropriate for a 5-year-old? And so that's something that where we connect on, that we both like spooky stuff.
Yeah, I love that. So like what an honor. Like so I think like I have my mom's signature tattooed on me. I
Mm-hmm.
have a message she wrote tattooed on me in her writing. You have your grandma's signature. Like what an honor to build a relationship like that. So maybe one day your legacy is carried on in a signature tattoo. Like to me that would be the biggest honor. Like you want my signature or something I wrote you on your body because we had these moments. We that
Yeah.
to me is such a beautiful legacy. And it's funny because you are covered in tattoos. Alana had no tattoos. And then before mom even like really died, I'm like, we're getting her signature. And within a couple days, we got it both tattooed.
Mm-hmm.
And I started Alana. Alana now has two tattoos. She's
Woo!
starting. She's starting.
On a
Next up is
roll.
one from you.
Ooh, I cannot wait.
But I mean, what an honor. And the work I do, like I just led a grief trip in Australia, and about half of the participants had a tattoo that was of someone they love's writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a continuing bonds theory is staying connected to those who are no longer with us. Maybe it's wearing their favorite perfume or their shirt or getting their signature tattooed on you. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really beautiful. And you know, and you have a lot of really beautiful elaborate tattoos, but this is a small one with such a significant meaning. And I think this is something where a lot of people do it. It doesn't have to be a signature, it can be a message. I have a friend who's in this book just messaged me. She's in Romania. She's getting a message she found in her mom's journal tattooed on her about living life. And it's so
Lovely.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so powerful. In fact, one of the girls on the grief trip, she is in Wales and she's going to be featured in Resilient A.F. Stories of Resilience Volume 3. And she lost her mom and her dad and a lot of people. And she got a message from her mom tattooed and she got some of her ashes tattooed into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. I mean, like Judaism, we don't cremate, so I can't do that. We have a bit of our cat's ashes, me and Alana. We're like, should we put some Xena in us? We don't know. But I mean, like, so many more people are doing it now. It's not just
Yeah.
getting like my lion I have. My lion is I'm a Leo through and through, but also my dad, Leonard, his Hebrew name REA means lion. So it just felt very fitting. And I was going through this huge transformation. Like my dad's about to die, my husband almost died. I didn't know everyone else was going to die. But for me, it's a very symbolic, beautiful tattoo. And I get stopped everywhere around the world. Like, wow, that's amazing. My cousin Suzanna in Seattle did it. Bellwether Tattoo. You should look her up. But it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like the writing or a signature, but like if you can, it's such a beautiful way to stay connected. Do you have any other tattoos that is the writing of like I know you're also really close with your dad and there's other people in your life. Do you have anyone else's writing on you?
Sorry, you froze for a second. So,
Oh,
I missed the middle, but do I have anyone else's writing? Um, yes, actually I do, but because I have so many tattoos and I get tattooed by my friends, I have like a couple of people who signed their work, but
mm,
so not the same idea,
no.
but someday they're not going to be alive and then I will, but
Yeah, I was saying like because I
no,
know you're really close with your dad, and
yeah.
like so it's like some people wait till they're gone, and some people like Alana got a little tattoo like for her cat, but the cat's still here because she's like I want to celebrate and show her while she's here, like
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, I
hard to
have
plan.
tattoos for
Yeah.
both of my parents and they have seen them. And I have a couple of tattoos for my dad.
Well, your
But
dad is pretty awesome.
he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he's another, bestie of mine. Um, and No, I think a signature is both an easy way to get something deeply meaningful that's not very big. So if you are not a super tattooy person or you can't think of like, oh, what's their favorite flower or something visual that is you know, uh relates to that person, like a signature does all of it. Like it visually sparks something for you. It's also deeply meaningful. It's also small. It's
Yeah.
also a little quick thing to get that's not that means a lot without, taking up a whole arm or something.
I love that.
And like I like art where you can see the artist's like hand and movement in the art. Like I like being able to see brush strokes and movement and stuff like that. And a signature is that in writing. Like you can just picture somebody's hand moving as they sign something or write something. And so it is kind of artwork because and honestly when I got the tattoo, I tattooed myself, but she had my grandma Edith had a kind of a long period of like physical and like mental deterioration, and I had to look through a big pile of cards to find a signature that was old enough that it still was legible and was strong looking. And so and that was a intense thing to like go through and watch her handwriting deteriorate over the course of probably a decade, through these things. But yeah, so it was like a special moment in time of like when she was at her like most vibrant and healthiest. So that's another element to it. It's not just, it's like truly like a moment in time.
So you found it on a card.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sentimental. And so I save a lot of cards because I like the card. I like mail.
Yeah, and you send really good cards in the mail too. Shout
Oh,
out.
good.
But I love that you pulled it from a card, and that what you said is like you love when someone's like art is showing through, and like what a signature is.
Yeah.
It's like this personal like stamp. It's like a thumbprint.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful. And we took our signature off of our mom's passport. And I know some people have pulled it off licenses, and it's okay if you don't keep your mail. Like the signature might be somewhere, or someone they know
Yeah.
must have it.
Yeah.
So I love that. So as we're wrapping up,
Hmm.
what advice do you have for someone who's going through something similar? So a family member who's a best friend and they pass away and they want to honor them.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're the kind of person who likes tattoos, I definitely think you should think about what it is, because sometimes people aren't quite ready and they think they're ready to get a memorial tattoo, and then it's like, whoa, that's too much too soon, because it does make you think about that person all the time. And if it's on your body and you see it all the time, you got to think about that. So feel out if you feel like you're ready for that kind of commitment. But the ritual of getting that done is was as important to me as having it. So going through, finding the signature, figuring out where I wanted it, like, and then I tattooed myself. So there was like a whole other level of like I'm in pain emotionally, and I'm like, this sounds weird, but like bloodletting, like
Yeah.
your body has to kind of get to a point where you can be calm enough that you can do that. So it's almost like a forced meditation. So I
Mm.
actually think that there's a lot of cool reasons to get a memorial tattoo, and not just to have that image on you. But yeah, so I found it to be a really helpful ritual to partake in. And as somebody who does I tattoo a lot of memorial tattoos, that seems to be the case with a lot of people. Like the experience of getting it is deeply meaningful and helps somebody work through that grief.
That's beautiful. And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And if you're not ready for a tattoo, you can just take that and make it a piece of art.
Yeah, and put it up on your wall. And when you feel like you're more than like when you feel like you need it, that's the time.
Yeah.
When you're like, I need this thing on my body, that is the time to get the tattoo.
100%. I love that. And I'm so honored to carry on Auntie Edie's legacy in our book
Yeah,
and to showcase you, my beautiful, talented, green-haired weirdo cousin
that's me.
who deserves all the art is on all the fridges of all the family members.
Okay.
And it's on our wall for mine and Shane's wedding. She did this beautiful cat drawing put it in a gold frame, and it's up in our living room because Shane and I love it so much because we're all
And you love
cat
cats.
people.
We're all
Yeah,
cat people.
we're all cat people. And I'm so grateful for you. So thank you so much for joining me on Resilient AF.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks for everyone who tuned in to another episode of Resilient AF. Susanna's links are in the show notes. You want to get a tattoo, get on her list. She's epic, is worth the travel to Seattle. I will travel to her. I will build my life around appointments with Susanna. And also, if you're listening, know it's okay to not be okay. You will get through it. Maybe one day you will get that signature tattooed on you. Maybe you won't. That's okay. But you're not alone. You don't have to navigate the hard shit alone. Let us be there with you. Let the Global Resilience Project hold your hand and be that lighthouse in the storm. And just remember, friends, you are Resilient AF. That's a wrap for another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. And thank you for listening. Are you feeling inspired to bounce forward?
Let's connect at theglobalresilienceproject.com, where you can read many stories of resilience, buy our books, shop our clothing line, learn more about how to strengthen your resilience muscle, be empowered, and more.
Remember, friends, you are Resilient AF.